This is the masterpiece we'll be making in this video. I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful trendy circular kaftan dress. It's very easy and it's very fast. By the way, this is festive period because Eid is around the corner. So this is one of the styles you can add to your ready-made business to sell this period. I hope you find this helpful. Let's get started. Hello fashion lovers, you're welcome back to this channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for clicking on this video. Kindly like, share and drop your comments and turn on post notification so you always get notified anytime there is a video like this here. And for the returning viewers, thank you so much as well. Today we'll be making this beautiful piece that I showed you earlier, and I'll be using 8 yards of Dutchess material for this, which I already cut into two. That is for 4 yards. 4 yards will be for the front and 4 yards it's going to go to the back. So let's get started. So I took one piece and folded it into two. If you're using a small space like me, just watch how I am going to manipulate this table. Now I start imputing my measurements on the open end. You know when you want to take measurements on your clothes, that part, that savage end, yes, that is where I placed all my measurements. Normal, you're starting with your shoulder measurement, which is 18 inches for this dress divided by 9 inches. So I jejely marked my 9 inches. After then, I'm going to mark 6 inches. I am not adding shoulder pad to this dress. So I'm making 6 inches for pleats. I'm going to just make a pleat on the shoulder area to have that pad effect, something like high effect. That is our 6 inches marked. After then, I am going to impute the shoulder measurement, which is 20 inches. I hope you're watching the way I am shifting my fabrics up and down just to make sure you see this, and the fact that the space I'm using is small. Just watch how I'm going to be manipulating my fabric to accommodate this table. Now I am putting 20 inches, 20 inches for the shoulder. After then, I am going to mark my wrist measurement. You can just take your measuring tape around your wrist to know what is going to be. Just look at what I am doing here. This is 10 inches divided by 2, that is 5 inches. So I just put my 5 inches, gentle, with no problem. So that 5 inches that I marked for the waist measurement, I am just going to cut only that part. I'm going to cut about half an inch just to demarcate that this place is for the wrist though. It's not for shoulder. Shoulder is meant to be flat, but this place should go in. After that, I am just going to cut. After cutting, I am going to notch all the markings I did earlier. After notching, the rest of the fabric should be at least 30 inches. It shouldn't be less than 30 inches because the dress is going to be too short if it's lesser than 30 inches. Here I have about 32 inches and that is perfect. So that 32 inches, you're just going to take it all around. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to achieve that flay, that coffee effect down. Don't worry, I'll show you, but at least make sure the rest of your fabric is not less than 30 inches. Now let's come to the neck to create our neck hole. The wideness I'm using here is 3 inches for the wideness of the neck. Sorry, I made it 3.5. 3.5 inches and I came down by 3 inches. Mind you, I'm using this piece for the front piece. Okay, so the depth is 3 inches, 3.5 for wideness and 3 inches for the depth. Just look at how I am going to create my neck hole. So I just come in by 1 inch and use that 1 inch as a guide to create that hole. Very simple. Just watch me and try it. It works. I've been using this for a very long. I've been using this method for a very long time, and I will cut. After cutting, I am just showing you how I create that shoulder pleat. But don't still worry. I'm going to show you better when I am joining the front and the back piece together. After then, I have to pin my fabrics together. If not, it will start flying around when you're cutting it, because we have to cut the damn parts now. After I pin everything together, I come to that 32 inches, right? And you're just going to just randomly cuff it. I don't know, there is no measurement to this thing. Just cuff. Just make sure it's not too short and not too high. Just cuff it with your chalk and use your scissors to just cut it. I don't know if that makes sense, but just randomly create that curve and cut it. Yeah, there is no manual, there is no measurement, nothing to use to create the curve. Just cuff and cut. Now let's see what we have. This is the curve we just created with no guide, no measurement. That's it. I'm just going to be placing this piece on the other piece. So the one we just finished now is the front. I told you when we're cutting the neck depth that is going to be lower. That was 3 inches. As you can see, that's 4 pieces makes the front and the back. For the back neck is going to be depth. The depth is going to be 1.5 inches, but the same wideness. But the depth is just 1.5 inches. I'm just creating the curve as well and cut. After cutting, I'll be transferring the same notches I made on the front piece on the back as well, from the pleat to the shoulder to the wrist. That is exactly what I'm doing here. Just literally transferring all my notches and cuts to the other piece as well, to the back piece. And then I'm going to separate it. Placing the back piece down and placing the front piece on it. Okay, we've separated it, and here I'm placing the two pieces on top of each other. The front is lower and the back is higher for the neck. So I'm just pinning the two together. I'm just going to basically pin all through. Before we pin all through, let's create that shoulder pleat. Just look closely what I am doing here. It might stress you a bit, but it is possible. Just take your time, and the fact that you have those notches, oh, that is going to help you and make it really easy for you. So just watch what I am doing here. It is very simple. You're going to do the same thing for the back piece as well, but make sure that you pin, oh, pin to keep your work intact. So by the time you want to start sewing, you're just going to place it under your machine and run a straight stitch. So pin. Here I'm going to continue pinning. I told you I did a lot of pinning in this on this dress or more. I used a lot of pins. So here I am pinning everything all the way down. After pinning this side, I'm going to move to the other side and do the same thing. Run a straight stitch from the neck to the end of the dress. The end of the dress, you can decide what you want to do with it. Piping with your bias, overlocking or top stitching. Whatever you chose to do is going to be perfect. So we'll do the same thing we did here on the other side as well. But then, if that neck happens to be smaller than the head of the person, especially if the person have plenty hair, so now you're just going to create that button space by taking the back piece and folding it into two. Back piece. Take the back piece and fold it into two. Then pin again. After pinning, I'm going to mark the button space that I want, which is 4 inches. I use 4 inches for the button hole. After then, I'm going to pin again just to make sure everything is in place. I don't want one place to be shorter or one place to be longer than the other side. After then, I am going to cut up to that 4 inches to create my button space or button hole. As you can see, I was so focused here. After then, see what I will be using to pipe the neck, the buttonhole as well. I'll be using this bias tape to pipe the down part of the dress as well. You may choose to overlock it, but I'll be using bias to pipe the down part. Now let's move to the sewing machine and stitch all the pieces we have pinned together. After I joined everything together, I use bias to finish the neckline. Just sew your bias and fold it in, then top stitch that one as well to give it a nice finishing on the neck. I also fixed the button hole as well. I'll be fixing my button here, and this is a button I'll be using. I'm just going to fix this here with needle and thread. You're just going to tack it in the button hole, and this is what you have. I'll be putting these trimmings on this neck as well, but that is after I ironed it flat. So this trimming is going to be here. This space is too small to show you the full dress, but I'll be showing you what I've done so far and what is left. So I'll be placing this here. I might just double, like place one beside it too. So I have something like this just on one side. So I fixed the wrist as well. I use bias for this, and I close the down part too using bias, as you can see, to make it really neat. After this, I'm going to iron my dress really flat. This is the pleat on the shoulder, as you can see. I have it here as well. These are the pleats, also on the back on the same side. That's it. If you find this video really helpful, kindly like, share, subscribe to my channel as well, and don't forget to drop your comments. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.